going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is the first episode in the Puff or Pass series, where I'm basically just going to give you my thoughts and impressions of a game I've been playing for a while, and whether or not you should pick it up. If it's any good, if it's going to be up your alley. This is a follower-requested video that he just wanted to have some information on the game, see some gameplay, and learn a bit about it and see if it's something that he'd be interested in. So this video is going out for him. If there's any other videos that anyone ever wants, or any other games that people want me to give some of my thoughts on or anything like that, I mean, take it for what it's worth, but I'm totally willing to do that. So VALHEIM, it's being developed by Iron Gate AB, and it's being published by Coffee Stain Publishing. Coffee Stain, some of their games that they've done before: Deep Rock Galactic, Satisfactory, Goat Simulator, Sanctum 2, the original Sanctum, and a couple other ones, but those are their most popular ones that they've done. So a pretty reputable company. It's currently in early access. Just came out of alpha on February 2nd, 2021 is when it went out on Steam. Right now it's going for $22.79 Canadian. So assuming that's probably just under 20 bucks US or not, you'll know how much it is for you. So, early access, not terribly priced right now, and I've been playing it with a bunch of friends, and we've been enjoying it a lot. This is the main menu here when you load in. I'll show you the settings once we get in. This is my character. You can select a world, create a new one here. This is just one that I've already been playing on. We also do have a server. Oh, and quick description of the game. So Valheim's a brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players, set in a procedurally generated purgatory inspired by Viking culture. Build, battle, conquer your way to a saga worthy of Odin's patronage. It is currently actually sitting at 135,000 reviews with overwhelmingly positive overall. Open world survival crafting game, survival online co-op is the main definition. So you can create a new world here, generate a random seed. I haven't really played around with too many seeds. I just have 2 worlds here. So we'll load into my first one. Yeah, and we'll go over some of the graphical settings, stuff like that. And at the very end of it, I'll just try to keep this video pretty short, but we'll hop into the server we've got going on. I can show you some of the crazy stuff that some of my buddies have built. They've put in a few more hours. I've put about 60 hours in, single and multiplayer. We've beat up to the 3rd boss and completed that and unlocked the winter biome region. So we haven't completed it. We're still working on it. So this is where you'll start off and spawn at the start of your game. In one of these circles here, there won't be anything on these stones. Every time you kill a boss, you basically have to hang their trophy on it, and it unlocks a new ability that you're able to use. So that's marked in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, as well as your food. This isn't going to be so much of how the game works. I'm sure a lot of people can figure that out, but this is just more of my thoughts and stuff on it. Settings, in regards to the settings, so rebindable controls, I just play with the default ones, mouse sensitivity, all that stuff. So pretty much any button you have to press, you can rebind. Audio settings, this is just what I run. The music's pretty good, not like outstanding. There's a limited quantity of tracks, but there was some effort that went into them. Graphical settings, this isn't a crazy graphically demanding game. In the description for my channel and this video, I'll have the specs for my PC. I run a GTX 1070, middle of the road graphics card with an i7 processor, and I don't ever have any problems. These are the graphical settings I like to run, but if you're going to be playing this on a toaster or a laptop, you can definitely dumb this down a bit and, have no problems. I'm usually rocking at those settings at around 40 FPS, depending on where I am, because if you go into a very densely built-up area, sometimes it won't necessarily chug, but it's got to load in all of the assets that people have placed. So if you're playing with someone that's created a huge thing with tons of chests, loads of items in it, the game's definitely going to buffer when you load into those instances. And the way the game works is it's procedurally generated. It generates a random seed, and let's say you're down here on the map and your buddy is way up here. The game will only instance in like one chunk surrounding each of those players. So that's how it gets around it. So as you kind of head from region to region, I have noticed sometimes it's not ultra consistent, but sometimes there's a little bit of stuttering going from different areas where the game will stutter slightly, not necessarily frame rate drops, but kind of like chug along, and I'm assuming that is it loading in the next chunk, potentially. Maybe, I really couldn't tell you. But whenever you start the game, you'll spawn at one of these circles. There's, I believe, only one in each of the worlds, and this is just the, oh, better turn up the graphics. There we go. So the game looks pretty good overall. This is my little house that I've built up in my single player. Just gonna turn up the audio settings here. There we go. So chests, all that. You can cook. These are the basic crafting benches that you have to place down a crafting bench and then enclose it so that you can build up different things and construct and craft stuff. So this is where you craft a lot of the basic items. Then eventually down the road, you'll unlock the forge, which will allow you to work with iron and copper. And then there's also the stone cutter that you'll eventually unlock, and the grinding wheel, and that will allow you with the hammer to be able to place stone blocks and more reinforced. And the way the building works in this game is there is a maximum building height, but the higher quality of materials you use, the higher you can usually go. There's also framing pieces and stuff, and I don't like fully understand the importance of framing. Like, I know the first house that I ever built with some of my buddies on a server, we didn't frame it at all, and when we got to a certain height, it just continuously started collapsing. Now, that may have been because we didn't frame it, or also because we were reaching the maximum height we were trying to build to with just normal wood, because the higher tier, the items you're using, the higher you can build. This is a smelter and a charcoal kiln. Basically, you get charcoal, slap it in here into the smelter with your raw ore, and you can get ingots used for crafting. Oh, yeah, you can sit down. These are beds, just like in Minecraft. You have to basically activate a bed, and that'll be your spawn point. When you die, your character will drop a tombstone, which I haven't spent so long to try to get back to my stuff that it ever despawned. I don't know if it does. I mean, the tombstones definitely do eventually disappear after you pick your stuff up from them. I don't know if there's still items in them, if they just remain there. No, I have no idea. You'd have to look that up online. So whether you like it or not, there are teleporters in this game. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. The only caveat with the teleporters is that you're not able to bring raw materials through them. So raw ore, they have these little symbols on them. The ingots and the ore can't be teleported. So that means that if you have it on you, these teleporters don't light up and you can't go through. However, I will say that there is an exploit to get around that. If anyone's interested in it, you can message me. It's pretty simple and easy to figure out on your own, though, so there's that, if you want to be able to get through with iron. But I wouldn't say immersion breaking. There's two different kind of schools of thought on them. Use them or don't. It's really up to you. Anyways, so this is my basic house here. I'm going to hop over to to the Deadbeat server, and I'll do a little run around, show you guys some of the cool stuff that some of my buddies have built, show that off, and then I'll give you some final thoughts on the game. Alright guys, so we're back in here. This is the Deadbeat server that we got running. There's the main spawn over there, and this is the first place that we settled, down here. Eat something quickly. So this is where we first settled. We've been playing this server with quite a few people. Upwards of 6 or 7 of us have all been on the server at one point or another to play. But all in all, looking at Valheim, $22 is quite a good game. I can only assume that the price of the game is eventually going to go up when it comes out of early access. So really, I mean, it's a good game. It's being supported by a reputable developer. I think the main thing would be if you are someone that enjoys survival games, this wouldn't be a bad one to play, especially if you've got a group of people. Now, I wouldn't discount the single player. Oh, actually, I don't know why I went through this one. There's a trader over there. They're basically guys where you can take gold coins to and then sell them for kind of magic items and stuff like that. But I don't want to spoil much. Anyways, the single player is fun, and I recommend if you're going to be playing it with friends to at least have a single player world. Not necessarily to, it's just a good one to kind of have so that in case the server goes down or anything like that, then you can play on your own world and you don't lose everything or you don't not have access to it. That's a house that was built by our buddy Nathan over there. That's Hunter's, Deadbeat Jesus over there, and up on the hill that's just starting to poke in is another one up there. That's Nick's. It's just loading in. we're going to go up there anyways. The way that the multiplayer works is you can host peer-to-peer. So let's say you launch your world, you can have your world basically you can set it so that your world is online, and then you can just send people invites through Steam and they can join. Or what you can do is you can host a dedicated server through the files that they've actually put out, the VALHEIM server programs, and it's something that you'd have to have continuously running whenever someone wanted to play. So the way that we've been doing it and the way I have access to this is Hunter, the Deadbeat Jesus, has just a clunker laptop that he doesn't use for anything else. So he lets it run constantly with the server running on it. So that's how we're able to access the server at all times. And that's what you'd have to do to have a server, or there are third-party companies that you can pay to have them run a server for you. It's at your discretion, whatever is convenient for you to do. We'll check out Nathan's house quickly. Yeah, so teleporters are nice because it allows you to get around the map pretty quick. If you want a more immersive game, I don't recommend using the teleporters because it creates so much weight behind every action when it's like, okay, we're traveling, we're looking for something, because every time to unlock the different bosses, there's usually a specific location you have to be adventuring in, and you'll find a rune or something that'll reveal the location of the boss on the map. And sometimes it can be pretty far away, like pretty out there. So it can be a bit of an adventure to get there and set up a base. And what we usually do is just set up a teleporter and then go run the boss, or try to at least. The third boss that we fought set us for a bit of a loop. It was a lot more challenging than we thought it would be. It was more of a raid. It took us about an hour and 15 minutes just to do the boss fight, and it was pretty painful. That was the last thing I really did before I hopped off this for a while. I was taking a little bit of a break, but it's pretty intense. This is Nathan's house out here. And there's lots of versatility in the building, and I'm assuming they're probably going to add more because there's tons of cool stuff that people are building, and I believe one of their patches coming out is going to introduce even more building options for construction and stuff like that. Some new items, some more cosmetic stuff. And this is the piece de resistance. This is the nice one. So Nick has been building this. So I'll show the top one. So this is his villa on top of the mountain here, looking down at Bastard Lake. There's Hunter's place. It's pretty cool. Just over there is where Nathan's place is, but it's not gonna buffer in probably. What else we got over here? Bop. There's another house over there. And we'll go to the main one, the Skyrim-inspired village that Nick's been working on, and it is very incredible, the work that he's done with it. And all legit, all hand-mined. He has been hustling to get this done. Tons of hours. Definitely more than me. Oh, I went through the wrong one. His teleporter's up there to get there. But all in all, $22. It's a good game. More than playable. I mean, everyone's pretty much saying the same thing. If you're into survival games, if you're looking forward to when it's finished down the road and you want to continue and grow with the company, they're also on the actual main page there. There's a little box where you can type in game suggestions and stuff. Oh, wow. He's been hard at work. Look at this. This is incredible. This is what I'm talking about. Like, some of the stuff that you can build, absolutely unbelievable, the work that he's been doing. He cleared out all this little farmhouse in here. He built this water wheel. This water wheel is not a buildable item. He made that with the wooden beams. This is the highest tier ship right now. This ability I'm about to activate is the first one that you get. So there's basically like active effects that you can grant yourself, and they go on cooldown. So this is the Ecthier one. It just gives you a stamina boost. It's the first one you get after fighting the first boss, which comes pretty quickly. And this is the inside of his house. So the more stuff that you put in it and the nicer you make it, the better resting bonus you get when you're in it. So comfort level 12, that's quite high. It's the highest that I've ever experienced, and I'm going to get a rested bonus of, I think, almost 20 minutes from hanging out in here for a second. Come on. There we go, 19 minutes. That's not bad, and that'll just make my stamina regenerate faster and all that good stuff. So he's done a really good job out here doing this, and that is the winter biome. So that's where we'll be heading up next. And I think Nick's already been spending some time up there as well. He's way ahead of us. But yeah, I would give this game a definite puff. 10 out of 10 would, well, I'm not gonna rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, but this game's a definite puff. If you enjoy survival games, this style, third person, and the crafting, the building, and the teamwork playing online, I definitely recommend it. The progression is gated through the boss fight, so usually every time you fight a boss and kill them, you get some sort of item that allows you to advance to the next tech tier, which you usually have to grind out before to prepare yourself for the next boss. So that's something to keep in mind. So the core gameplay loop is basically build, construct, make items, gear up to the maximum of your ability, head to the boss, fight it, kill it, and then repeat. Gear up, fight boss, gear up, fight boss. And in the end game, I don't want to spoil it because we're kind of on a little mission to get there as a group. So we've been trying not to spoil any of the boss fights and kind of make them a surprise. So we kind of have to figure out how we got to get through them every time. But yeah, so if anyone ever has any more questions about the game, you want to know more, definitely check out my stream on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday from 6:30 to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/TheDeadbeat3RIC. I might be playing this, I might be playing something else, but even if I'm playing something else, don't hesitate to drop a question about the game. If you want access to the server, not hesitant, but yeah, I'd have to kind of make sure you're legit and then maybe queue you up if you wanted to play, or maybe we could see about getting a second server started and stuff, because some of this stuff is just amazing, and we would hate for it ever to get griefed or destroyed. But yeah, so that's my initial 60 hours thoughts on Valheim. It's a cool game. I'm definitely looking forward to playing it more, and yeah, let me know if you pick it up and you want to play with me sometime. Anyways, this has been Puff or Pass, definite puff, and I hope you all have a really good evening or day wherever you are, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.